Yemi Mobilade.
Springs Mayor Yemi Mobilade.
Congratulations to Mayor-elect Yemi Mobilade on
Good night, Yemi.
Mayor Yemi Mobilade. Thank you.
Yemi Mobilade's historic victory. Colorado Springs had never elected a non-Republican candidate for mayor.
Arriving to America from Nigeria almost 30 years ago, he is now a mayor.
Have chosen Yemi Mobilade, who won tonight's race by a large margin.
Now, the man who has never held political office is just weeks away from being sworn in as the city's 42nd mayor.
We get asked these questions as realtors all the time. I'm just gonna throw it right out there: the immigration issue, the homelessness, right?
To one in this room who is in utter disbelief that Republicans and Democrats and independents can work together. Tonight is for you.
In your own words, what's your favorite thing about Colorado Springs? Why should someone even consider moving here?
I love that question and I hate that question.
We're not a Portland, we're not a Seattle, we're not in LA, something like that. That's awesome.
That's what makes Colorado Springs Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
My bit away from me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That left us sore.
I'm sorry. If it's any consolation.
Cut, we're done.
Here we are. We're going to meet with the mayor. We're all here to find out what the city is going to be like over the next 5 to 10 years and ask the important question, ask some of the tough questions, get to know the mayor better. And so you definitely want to stick around till the end because Kyle and I are going to chat afterward about the whole interview. So yeah, stay tuned.
Nice to meet you too. Sam, it's good to meet you.
I was just keeping your seat warm. Uncomfortably warm, probably.
Toby, it's good to meet you. Nice to meet you. Excellent.
I'm Kemper.
Kemper, it's good to meet you.
I would like to start off with a lightning round of questions, if that's okay.
Okay.
So, number one, Mayor Mobilade.
Or you can call me Mayor Yemi.
I like Mayor Mobilade.
Why?
Because I want to see if you can say that 3 times fast. Yeah. Without messing it up. Yeah.
My own last name.
Yes.
With the word mayor.
Yes.
Mayor
Yes.
Mobilade, Mayor Yemi.
Oh, it got me.
I am somewhat of a rule.
Number 2, this isn't for me. This is totally just for a friend that happened to park in a carpool parking spot across the way that said you needed a rear parking window sticker. And that friend didn't have the sticker. So they're just wondering if they get ticketed this morning, if you're able to pardon that ticket. You know?
People believe I have so much power. Let's just pretend that I do.
Okay.
Actually, I probably just connect them to a team member of mine.
Okay,
fair. To hear more.
Fair. I'll let them know. Number 3, this question came in from one of our very own. His name's Kyle. He would like to know your stats. So height, weight, bench, and squat is what Kyle would like to know.
Kyle or Sam?
Definitely Kyle. It's not me. Not me.
Height, 6'2".
Okay. Formidable.
What about desired weight?
Okay. That's totally fine.
I'll just give my weight.
Okay.
210.
210. Nice.
210.
Nice.
And I do not bench press.
Okay.
But I do almost every morning. I do an app-based workout.
Nice.
From Jillian Michaels. So she kicks my butt.
Okay. No, I believe it.
So it's a lot of body weight.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Number 4 and last one.
Okay.
Do you remember the last place you and I met?
Ooh. No, but I'm sure it was special and very meaningful.
It was.
For both of us.
It was. We may have been in a bidding war over an axe in the oak.
I do remember that.
Whiskey
that
collection.
was not special.
No.
That was not special. You took my bid away from me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That left us sore.
I'm sorry. If it's any consolation.
Cut. We're done.
Yeah. If it's any consolation, the barrel is falling apart in my house.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
I'm really glad that you got that was a great bid.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was very fun.
Yeah, that was maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I didn't. Yeah, it was 2 years ago because I didn't get to go to last year's event. So, well, let's jump.
To see you.
Yeah, you
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us here. Thanks for hosting us. Let's jump right in. So, I mean, big idea here is, kind of trying to get an idea of what like the next 5 to 10 years of the city really looks like, right? How long have you been here?
Almost 10 months now.
10 months?
Yeah, I've been mayor.
Oh, mayor. How long have you been in Colorado Springs?
14 years.
Yeah, so you've seen it change a ton in that time frame. I mean, population's through the roof, like the city growth is through the roof, right? And so, before we get to all that, I do want to ask, because I think this is one of the most interesting things about you is that you're an independent mayor, right? Like in a place that's historically pretty red.
Right.
What I do feel like now, and it's pointing at you're wearing the jacket this morning, is that we're very purple now.
Purple.
We talk about this all the time on our channels. We feel like we're not overly red, overly blue. We're just very purple, very representative of the population at large. And so what has it been like to be an independent mayor? Is there a lot of pressure with that? Is there, what's that been like?
It's in many ways it's the best place to be. I had a federal senator tell me that be independent as long as you can, because it gives you the ability to make the right decisions for the people you're serving and not for a party.
Yeah.
He said, don't ever change. And that's the beauty of being an independent, is that I am not beholden to special interests, special groups, a party.
Yeah.
I really am beholden to the people of Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
You're right. Our city is more purple than we realize, and I want it to stay that way.
Yeah.
Because that's the best of democracy, when you have truly the influence and the competition of two competing ideas that we bring forth to the decision table, and it allows us to make some of the best decisions. But it's been truly an honor to serve from a place of independence, and it's very intriguing. On the national level, I get a lot of outreach from the independents of America going, how is Colorado Springs doing this? It's such a great and unique story.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That is very cool. Very cool. Well, so first real question, kind of digging in. So, in general, from your perspective, what does a city look like over the next 5 to 10 years with, infrastructure's a tough deal already right now, right? Like, we've grown a ton over the last decade. We all know the growth pains that we're going through with, constant construction going on and things. So, what I find that I love about the Springs, I've been here, this will be 19 years this year. It's always
lived here?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I love it. It's always felt like a big, small town.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we have everything you need right here, but it still kind of had that small town feel to it, And so with that being the case, as we've grown, 17% over the last decade, something like that, kind of how do we continue to grow, but kind of stay away from being Denver, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with Denver, it's just,
And Denver is I like to think of them as a sister city to ours. And I know the current Mayor Johnston, and he's working hard to address some of their challenges. So I understand the kind of the Denver reference. Sometimes people would say like Seattle or Portland.
Sure.
And I think what they're saying is that those cities have grown. We've all watched the evolution of their growth, and at the same time, their growth has come with growth challenges.
Yeah.
So crime, whether it's crime or homelessness and congestion and some of those type of things, and that is a unique opportunity Colorado Springs has. I don't shy away from calling our city a late bloomer.
Okay.
And that's a good thing. I was a late bloomer. So I got to sometimes being a late bloomer is you get to learn from the mistakes of others. And I want us to learn from the mistakes of the cities that have also grown.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something that is really important about one of the true marks and uniqueness of Colorado Springs. It's what I call small Colorado Springs. We are the 39th largest city.
Trademark that. Small Colorado Springs. I like that.
Yobel, actually, one of the downtown businesses, have already created a T-shirt.
No way.
Yeah, they did, with the whole big city with a small town feel.
That's awesome.
That's what makes Colorado Springs Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
39th largest city in the U.S., So we're in that top 50. We are over 500,000, and yet it feels like a small town. You know this.
Yeah.
We're not even. I'm not even sure we're 1 degree removed away from everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone is so deeply connected, and we're not gonna lose that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always gonna be a huge part of who we are.
No, that's awesome. I love that. And so I know you had mentioned some hot button topics.
Right.
So I want to jump right into them if that's cool. So the homelessness, right? And, you know, with a YouTube channel where we are out and about in the city, walking around and, you know, kind of just telling people how it is in the city. Like, we try to be really, really honest with people.
Good.
And just let them know how it is, you know?
Right.
I would not say, and we've said this a ton of times on our channel, we're not a Portland, we're not a Seattle, we're not an LA, something like that. But we do have some homeless population here. And so for you guys, like, what is currently being done by the city administration, by your administration to address that issue now?
Thank you for bringing up that question, and it's an important one to me, many of our residents, and I also want to give credit to my predecessor and leaders who have been working on solving this problem ahead of me. And I was on the board of our largest rescue mission for 5 years before I became mayor. So I have a good grasp now in terms of what were the solutions, both from the city side, but also from with our nonprofit providers. It's really important for me to mention that we're never going to end homelessness, but we do use the term ending homelessness because the vision has to be bigger than all of us. So we're going to keep working as though we're going to end it. And we're showing a decline in the number of homelessness. I mean, we've gone from about 1,600 to about 1,300.
Oh, wow.
So we're trending in the right direction. And the reason why I believe we're trending in the right direction is that we emphasize an all-hands-on-deck approach.
Okay.
It's a multifaceted problem, so we need a multifaceted solution. We remove the politics away. And then we also infuse pragmatic solution. And then let me end this segment by saying there's 3 areas as a city that we play. We're not the only ones, but let me tell you how we play. Number 1 is cleanups. So cleaning up illegal camping. I believe in 2023, we cleaned up about 1,600 illegal camps.
Whoa.
It's really important because we're keeping our residents safe. We're also keeping our homeless population safe because there are safety issues also and fire risk connected to illegal camping. So we do that. Number 2 is partnerships. So we work closely with a number of nonprofit providers in ensuring that we're collaborating with them and we all know our lane in terms of how we end homelessness. And number 3, speaking of our lane, one of the lanes that we have embraced as a city is working with our most vulnerable population. So we do street outreach. We have behavioral health specialists who are trained social workers who can go and meet our most vulnerable population and begin the process of how do we get them from the street into a safe place and begin to move them towards a continuum from homelessness back into housing, work, and health.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I'm kind of hearing like a 3-pronged approach there. Cleanups, working with the nonprofits that are also already there, helping support in that avenue, and then that mental health aspect as well, but like actual outreach taking place there. Because I'll be honest, like you hear a lot of people talk about it, and they just give the typical kind of canned response that doesn't actually like have something like that where it's like, yeah, we are actually addressing these issues, and we can like show the data that shows that we are addressing this issue.
I'm so glad you brought that up. One of the big pushes as mayor with my team is we got to be data driven. That's one of the ways we remove the politics from it.
Yeah,
because politics are what's underneath all of that are values. So what people values, that's not a bad thing. So we make decisions from a value-based place, but also we need to make decisions from a data-driven place. What does the data say? And the data will help us to act on the right decisions.
Nice.
So, yeah.
No.
And one of the things I actually really proud of when you ask what the city is doing, you said a 3-pronged approach. The second one, when we talk about partnerships, I just want to highlight one of our key partners. We have this thing called program called Work COS. So we partner with Springs Rescue Mission to provide employment opportunities and almost like an internship work program for our homeless residents who are ready to go back to work. So the city, we bring them on, and they're part of our public works team.
Oh, wow.
And we're seeing success story. I shared one of those success stories at my last State of the City and had
Nice.
the gentleman there with us and was able to honor him and his story and how he's moved from homelessness. He's got an apartment, he's got a car.
Yeah.
So those little wins are so important.
That's awesome. That is incredible. And I know this is another hot button topic. We get asked these questions as realtors all the time. And so I'm just gonna throw it right out there: the immigration issue.
Yes.
I know that we have declared that we're not kind of participating in the sanctuary city thing.
Right.
How is it though? This is something I've just always personally wondered. Like, how is it though that we know that we just don't have like tons of people showing up in the middle of the night from a random bus somewhere that they had no choice, they just got bused right over here? Like, you know, how do we know that that's not the case?
Right.
Really?
I can say for a fact that we have not had that. Knock on wood. That's good. Partly because my city, Colorado Springs, is not being targeted. So I would say some of the sanctuary cities that have declared themselves as sanctuary cities in the past are kind of being targeted. So there's kind of this internal weirdness going on even within the U.S. And that's partly because in the absence of a federal response and leadership, you have these kind of states and cities trying to figure out what's happening. So the good news is that we're not being targeted. Any kind of rumor that comes my way, we take it seriously and we follow, and we have not experienced anything. So, but the migrant crisis is a really important issue, as you know, and people are asking. And I have said we're not a sanctuary city for so many reasons. I've already talked about removing the politics from good decision. That's another example of we need to remove the politics. As mayor of Colorado Springs, I was sworn to be a mayor to 500,000 people. That is where my investment and that's where my energy goes into. All the resources that we have as a city needs to go into caring for our own people, including our homeless residents. And at the same time, this mayor is also an immigrant. So I am sympathetic to the story of, even though it's a different kind of story in terms of how they arrived in the U.S., I'm sympathetic to the desire for opportunity, because this is a land of opportunity, and I've been blessed. I'm the product of the American dream. So I will not politicize real people, real human lives, but I am asking the federal government to step up and to begin to help us take care of this crisis, or else you put our cities in a very weird place and not a good place, really.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that's great. I did see your statement the other day that was kind of like, listen, residents first. Like, this is what I was sworn in for. This is, what I'm taking care of, not trying to push the issue off of the table, but like, this is our priority here. And so I know a lot of people here can appreciate that. I do want to ask, is there, just totally switching gears, getting away from the hot button topics now, because I know that you got to get running, you got a busy day going on, but you've been here a long time, right? We have people coming from all over the country, right? I've met folks that came in from Rio de Janeiro watching our YouTube channel.
Wow.
Right? Like, there's people from all over the world that are watching this, and so it's always funny to me. I see the like "Keep Colorado Springs Lame" stickers still around, and like,
I haven't seen those.
Oh, you haven't seen those?
I haven't seen those, and
those are great. Those are great. I still see them around.
You and I may disagree on that.
Oh man, I love the way the Springs is growing right now. Honestly, I don't love traffic, but also that's relative. Like, we get people moving from California.
I was just going to say that
you don't have traffic.
The whole traffic thing is very relative.
It's so relative
in terms of where you're moving from.
Yeah. And now Kyle can attest to this, right, Kyle? Where like it's a thing to be like, oh, I'm a native right? Or don't move here. Like, stay in California, don't move here. Obviously, we really actually are welcoming here, but in your own words, what's your favorite thing about Colorado Springs? Why should someone even consider moving here?
I love that question and I hate that question. I love it because we're talking about civic pride. Before mayor, I started a business in the downtown area that helped catalyze the downtown revitalization.
Yeah.
And the intent of doing that business was about restoring civic pride.
Yeah.
And we have that.
Which one was that first?
The Wild Goose.
Okay.
And then that's how I stumbled into economic development because I was helping other businesses.
Because you're involved in
Good Neighbor.
Cafe. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Cafe 225 for some reason too.
No, I'm
okay.
not.
So Good Neighbors.
I worked at a church, First Presbyterian Church, as a pastor.
Yeah.
That ran 225.
Okay.
But I was not involved in. So the church owned that cafe.
Gotcha. So Good Neighbor, and Wild Goose.
And Wild Goose.
If you ever go to Good Neighbors, the breakfast Sammys there on Marble Rye are just saying. Yeah.
All right, you're my new favorite person. Don't tell my wife I said that. No, I do love that question, and the reason why I'm half joking. The reason why I hate it is I'm a parent of 3 young kids. Is that trying to ask me which of your 3 kids is your favorite?
Oh
kid?
yeah.
And so there's a lot to love in this city, and this city stole my heart. This city, I love this city. Have you ever heard of the term topophilia?
No.
Okay, it's a Greek term for love of place.
Oh,
Sounds like a disease or something.
Is it?
Yeah, I have topophilia, so I have a strong.
Sounds like a disease where you just like have an obsession with maps or something like that.
It sounds like one of those. Also, it sounds like one of those medicine commercials.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how to come up with these names.
Yes.
But topophilia is a strong sense of belonging and love of place. And that's what I have in Colorado Springs. And like many people, they come here to visit. They come here for the military. They come here for our sports economy because we're Olympic City, USA. They come here to visit family. They come here for business.
Yeah.
And more than often, most people want to come back. They want to move here. They want to live here. It's why we've consistently been on the top 10 best cities to live in the USA, probably in the last seven years.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, do you know what the essence of what makes you the best city? There's a question that is being asked nationally. What city have you been to that you would like to visit again?
Oh, that's interesting.
Or move to?
That's like kind of what the criteria question
It's one
is.
of the criteria question.
Okay.
And Colorado Springs is one of, so we're that city people come to and go, whoa, check out the mountains.
Yeah.
And that's what the founder of our city, General William Palmer, saw. He moved to this region. He visited this region and said, wow, look at this place. Now we're going to create a whole city.
Yeah.
Around the beauty and the majesty of this place. So if you ask me to pick maybe one, it would just be just the access to outdoors, how incredible and beautiful, and 300 days of sunshine.
Yeah.
So the outdoors probably are one of the reasons that many of us move here, but also the reason that keep us here.
Yeah. No, I love that. I want to go back to
Topophilia.
Yes, topophilia. I want to go back to like growth and what's kind of coming down the pipe and everything, because I mean that's on everyone's mind, especially people here, right? As like, we're growing so fast, we're growing so much, and there's a ton of explosive growth going on out east, right?
Right.
And it's kind of like that's kind of where we're limited to in terms of growth is like pushing east because we have the mountains on our west, right?
Yeah, west.
So what do plans look like? Not that you're, the developer of the city or anything like that, but what do you know about, or what do plans look like for like annexation of things going east and infrastructure and all those things going east? What does that look like that you know of?
Right. At 200 square feet miles is about the size of our city geographically. It really makes us the largest city in
it's
the
a
state
huge area.
Geographically.
Yeah.
So we, unlike Denver, they have to, because they're landlocked, they grow up. we have land around us. So to your point, we're growing east, north, and southeast as well.
Yeah.
And so when we speak of growth, there's been land that has already been annexed into our city, and there's land that is in consideration to annex. And so how to make those decisions all fall under smart growth policies. And so intelligent growth decisions. When it comes to the growth conversation, I often find out that people argue about it's either growing or not growing. There's a third way. I often say healthy things grow. Parents of kids also know that your kids are going to grow regardless. But it's important for us as parents to help them grow well. And that's how I think about city growth. It's not a question of are we going to grow or not growing? As we've talked about, Colorado Springs is a place people want to move to. So we will grow. My job as mayor is to help incorporate intelligent decisions and policies to ensure that we're growing well. And most importantly is to ensure that while I'm not a developer, I am a developer of infrastructure to keep up with the growth. So those two have to be on par. And so in terms of how we consider projects and annexation, we have to make sure that we can answer the question around our infrastructure needs and utility needs to ensure that they are on par with growth. So that is the right conversation, and that decision is one decision at a time. And then I'll just end by saying we're in the middle of the Annex COS, which is a framework that the city will be creating to help us make decisions on how we annex new land. And so this all comes within what I just talked about. Annex COS really provide that framework of, in many ways, growth, how we make those growth decisions. Yeah.
Very cool. I do want to ask too, there's so much that's going on right now. Like driving over here, you can see the Drake power plants coming down.
Right.
We got the Sunset Amphitheater going in. We've got,
one. Did you hear that One Republic sold out overnight?
Yeah.
Then they added another one. It sold out, and then they have a third one now.
Jeez.
They've added a third
That's insane.
for the new Emperor.
That is ridiculous. For everyone watching, if you didn't know, One Republic is from the Springs, so
they are
cool.
Yeah, two local guys.
Yep, kind of cool. So
and I'm gonna try to pull them back into. That's my.
With all of that going on and all the exciting stuff we have going on, I know you were huge in the downtown like partnerships and everything. Downtown revitalization. We got the North Nevada project going on, all that stuff. Like, what is coming down the pipeline next? I want to ask kind of a twofold question. Okay, so if there's one thing right now that you'd accomplish during your term, only one thing that you could accomplish, what would that be? And then is there anything really exciting coming down the pipeline that we haven't addressed yet? Or is there anything secret? That
I was just going to say, there are a handful of things coming down the pipeline that I cannot speak about.
Oh, you can tell us.
And I am super...
Kyle has a top secret security clearance, so you can tell him. He's former Air Force. Your TS is still good, right? Okay.
Are you former Air Force? Oh, thank you for your service. We're a proud military community.
Yes.
I think that's important for your listeners to know.
Yeah.
That. Okay, can I just mention something about that?
Yeah.
90,000 veterans and 40,000 uniform members.
Yeah.
17% of our population are veterans.
Yep.
The average U.S. city is 7%.
Wild.
Yeah. So
wild.
Thank you for your service. Okay. Coming down the pipeline, we're living in some exciting times. I feel so lucky to be mayor right now. So you've mentioned a number of things. You've seen a number of things already. The City for Champions project, the stadium, the Switchback soccer, our favorite soccer team. The Colorado Colorado College CC Hockey Tigers, and so many things. The Olympic Museum. So we got all that going on. There are a few things coming up, like you've mentioned, the amphitheater. A handful of other things coming up. I can't wait to announce. I can't tell you yet.
Okay,
but
we'll talk about it often.
Yeah, but we are living in some real exciting times. And it's really great to be mayor right now to help move some of those projects and initiatives forward.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And as that last question, right? If there was only one thing.
Oh, the one thing, yeah, you did ask me that.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Again, is asking me to pick which one is your favorite child.
Yeah.
A lot of things I love about this community, but when I think about when I'm done being mayor, what is what is the one legacy or one of the key mark of my leadership and administration would be that I was a mayor for all people. Yeah, and I was able to engage our residents in the decision-making process, because democracy is best served when actually residents engage in the decisions that affect their own neighborhoods. Part of smart growth policies, by the way. And then let me end by just with my vision for the city.
Yeah, please.
My vision from day one, actually from even when I was a mayoral candidate, I put this vision in front of our residents that we'll become an inclusive, culturally rich, economically prosperous, safe, and vibrant, world-class American city on a hill that shines brightly. Inclusive, it means a sense of belonging and civic pride. Culturally rich is celebrating our diversity and our differences. And we can all coexist, even though politics tells us we can't. Economically prosperous is about providing opportunities for our residents for mobility, ensuring that they're growing and they're able to get better jobs and make more money. And then safe, if you don't have a safe city, you got nothing. And so these elements inform the work that we do. And if there's one thing that I'd like to see is that by the end of the time I'm done with my administration, we are one step closer to that vision. For all of us.
I love that.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys for your time today. I know it's it's a good amount of time out of a pretty busy day that you got going on, so we really appreciate that. I think everyone watching this on the channel is really going to appreciate it. Again, stick around. Kyle and I are going to chat as well after the interview here, but want to let you get back to your day. So thank you again so much.
Thank you, and thanks for telling the stories about our city.
Absolutely.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you again.
I'm still thinking about the accident at Oak and Barrow.
I know. Listen, we're going to have to get into another bidding war one of these days. It was all for charity, so it was good cause.
It was all for charity.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice lapel pen.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Got it from the mayor.
I know. Got one too.
Nice.
No biggie. What'd you think? Give me your thoughts. Give us a reaction.
I wanted to be so angry. I wanted to have so much spicy stuff to say. At the end, but I was pleasantly surprised. Like I feel like he didn't really dodge any answers. I feel like he gave thorough, actual, like, I want to say thought out but not scripted answers. Like there were actual answers to what he was saying, and it wasn't just. I didn't feel like you were just having a conversation with a politician the whole time.
No,
you know what I mean? I think the most evident thing that I gained or gathered from that conversation was that man does love the city.
100%.
I think that was like what was the most clear to me was like he really does love the city. And something that
I think he is like, not only does he love the city, is concerned with like, how do we grow well? How do we grow?
I liked that conversation
wisely, like, and because we're going to experience growth whether we want to or not. Like people want to live here. They're moving here every day. We have people reaching out to us almost every single day at this point. Hey, I'm moving from Houston. I'm moving from Dallas. I'm moving from Tampa, whatever the case may be. And it's like, those people are coming here. And so it's not a matter of like, are we going to grow? It's a matter of like, how do we grow? On purpose in a wise manner. So it sounds like there's, annexation plans. There's already stuff that has been annexed and prep for the future.
For those that don't know what annexing is, will you explain that briefly?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where like, a parcel or a big piece of property is going to go from just the counties administratively to under the city's administration and thereby infrastructure, right? So city's water, city's gas, city's electric, all these things. You'll be, out there instead of just paying for like your
county road and bridge share of taxes, like you'll be paying like the city's taxes and things like that.
So is that a net negative or a net positive for somebody?
I mean, it's totally.
Like, so for example, like I live in Claremont Ranch, and Claremont Ranch on the southeast side of town, just for those of you who don't know, it's just north of Peterson. Yep. Mark Shuffle. And Constitution, really, and kind of tucked back there.
Yep.
It's technically county.
Yeah.
So does that mean that people living in Claremont, for example, get annexed into the city and now our taxes and our policies change?
I mean, effectively. To my understanding, that's effectively what happens is your taxes are going to change. Your mills, if you will, on your taxes are going to be levied differently. Like, your taxes are going to go, everyone has like El Paso County Road and Bridge on their tax sheet, right? But then if you live in the city, there's certain things that go with that, like your emergency services and stuff like that go to the city,
and that's
not to the county, and all that sort of stuff. So
that's a huge one because it decides who responds.
Yeah.
And
no,
so
100%.
length of response and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The homeless conversation I thought was very interesting. I was a little surprised, actually.
So was I.
And I actually, you know what? Like maybe it was a politician, statement, but I appreciated that he was like, this started with the efforts of the previous administration.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like something that I came in and just started changing. Like there's been efforts ongoing for a long time. And the reason that we bring that question up and we had to ask it is because it is the number one
100%
commented thing in our videos.
Yeah.
Whenever we talk about like pros and cons of living here or don't move here or, trying to give people a real feel for Colorado Springs, somebody always comments, oh my gosh, the homeless is out of control.
Yeah.
And
to me, that conversation says it's not.
It's not out of control. It exists.
It exists. And we know it exists.
Yeah.
And like the city's administration is not, they're not acknowledging that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. They are acknowledging that this problem exists. And it does sound like that is one of the first times that I have heard. I get it, we're a smaller city, so we have less of a problem. So maybe it's easier to address on some level. But that's the first time that I've heard like a multifaceted, specific approach that the data shows it is working.
It's trending positive.
It's trending positive.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, when we walked in, there was literally a sign that says handouts don't help the homeless.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it was funny because I was thinking about that yesterday, because there was a homeless person standing on the corner, of one of the famous corners that somebody is always there. But yeah, I thought that it was an interesting conversation and that there is a program and a policy in place to try. The attempt is at least
to have cleaned up 1,600 camps last year.
Yeah.
That's a massive amount of effort.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But the reason but I loved what he said. It was like, because I took an oath to 500,000 people to also make sure that it's a safe environment for the citizens.
Yeah.
Which does include the homeless population. It needs to be safe for them.
Yeah.
And those things come with a lack of safety.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a way to do that safely. Anyway, I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
I was a little bummed he didn't tell us any of his secrets.
I know.
About the upcoming changes.
We need the secrets.
The new announcements. I was pretty bummed about that,
yeah,
being honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
I tried to weasel it out of him.
It was a good effort.
He held strong.
It was a good effort.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely have our finger on the pulse of that thing. You'll see, there'll be news outlets. We have a good relationship here with the staff. And so hopefully, we can get some insider baseball information for you guys as far as new announcements, new changes that are happening. But I definitely agree with him. Like, I like how he approached the whole idea of, look, your kids are going to grow. The city's going to grow. How do we grow well? How do we grow in a healthy manner?
Yeah.
And part of that is having intentional development projects.
Yeah.
Sunset Amphitheater. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
The historic building that's being rehabbed and turned into a big like bed and breakfast, excuse me.
Yeah.
Tearing down the Drake power plant, just to name a couple, and then like really turning the downtown area into like a place that people want to come to.
Yeah.
Because I think prior to that, and I wasn't even here yet.
Right.
But like, I think prior to the gentrification, if I may, revitalization, much better word. It has less of a sting to it.
Yeah.
The revitalization of downtown, it was almost like, where do you go to do anything in Colorado Springs? People are like, oh, there's nowhere to go. You just got to go to Denver.
That's why the saying was keep Colorado Springs lame.
Yeah.
You know?
But what I love is I love new restaurants.
Yeah.
I don't love chain restaurants. I love new local eateries.
Yep.
Actually, Silly Goose, that place is awesome.
Yep.
They got kombucha on tap. If that's not Colorado, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And what was he?
The new local like shops and clotheries and things like that. Like he had mentioned his purple jacket, which I might have to cop. That thing was fresh. It was pretty sweet. Came from the Men's Exchange. James Proby, another longtime resident, has a ton of family history here. Like that's a local shop that's right here. That's like a staple in the downtown area. I love seeing that kind of stuff here.
Yeah.
Love seeing that.
I do too. I guess the only question that we didn't
we didn't get to our community question, which I'm so sorry about, which was how do we decrease the population of potholes?
Yeah. Actually, no, let me answer that.
Yeah.
I'm in a Facebook group and I saw a local address that. So there is a website that you can go to. It's part of the city's website, or it's an app that you can download so that you can actually report potholes. Because if you don't know this, springtime is unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
for potholes here.
It's just ridden with them
because of the melting and the freezing and the melting and and we're talking like
it's melting, freezing, and then we get the plows out.
Yep.
And
they chop them up. I legitimately would not drive a motorcycle in the spring until those things get filled.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you hit some of those and it is terrifying. But
yeah,
so there is an app that you can report potholes, and I saw a guy post in like a Colorado, I think it was the Colorado Springs 411 or the 411 or the 719. Anyway, and he was basically like, he was like taking it upon himself. He was like, send me all your potholes and I will report all of them.
Oh my gosh.
For real. And he is like, it is his like sworn duty and his purpose in life now. The pothole population,
my man, shout out,
is pretty bad.
It is. Yeah.
So
the answer is you don't fix it.
You just manage it.
You manage it here in this environment. That's just how it goes.
Yep.
Right. But yeah, kind of wrapping things up. I thought that was great. I think it's evident like our mayor really loves this city, cares about this city.
Yeah.
It's here for the long haul, here to make the city better. And so those of you who are out there considering maybe a move to this area, make sure you watch this whole video, number one. Number two, make sure you give us a call. So we'd be more than happy to help you in your relocation. And number three, last thing, make sure you go and watch the neighborhood playlists that we have. Those things are fantastic for giving you just a real on the ground, like in-depth feel of all the different neighborhoods and all the different areas and all those things. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get them all. For now, that's been our interview with the mayor, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.